What's up, everyone? Good morning, all you beautiful, beautiful souls out there in the world. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Um, we're going to go over the book, The Seed of the Soul, together. This chapter is very interesting. I liked this past chapter I read. Chapter is called Heart, and it's talking about, you know, between light and darkness, and how our emotions are connected to our intentions. And like when our soul signifies, we'll just get right into it here. So what I've highlighted a lot. I always highlight a lot because I try to get as much as I can from each sentence that is written, because words are powerful. I don't know who can agree with that, but words are powerful. He does tell a little story about, I did want to say that emotions are current energy that pass through us. Awareness of these currents is the first step in learning how our experiences come into being and why. And he says emotions reflect intentions. And he talks about his one friend from the military. He was like, a tech guy, and his friend was in the infantry, so he was committing violence in the army, and his friend Hank, he's seen him later in the years, and he wasn't doing too well. He looked all disheveled, and he said he was trying to find his place in the sun. And then the next time he heard from him, Hank had killed himself. So then he goes on and talks about his other friend, Greg, and he says that Greg had a similar type story. Things started going wrong in his life. He lost one wife. He lost a second wife. He realized that it was because of his manipulative actions and behaviors as to why he was losing these things. So he decided to, good morning, everybody. It's good to see you. So he decided to change his way of thinking, which really deep down is our deep intentions behind things. And he says in here, that when we, the physics of the soul is that with the optic eye, for example, white and black are not colors like blue, green, and red. White is a combination of all the colors on the visible spectrum of light, and black is the absence of that spectrum. In other words, white is an integration of all variable forms of radiance, and black is the absence of radiance. And he goes on, talks about, the Dark Ages are said to be a time of light where the light of reason was absence. The devil was called the Prince of Darkness, and hell is said to be the place where light of God does not reach. So what we call evil is the absence of light. And he goes on saying, evil needs to be understood for this dynamic of absence of light, because when we look at it as an absence of light, the remedy for absence is a presence. So instead of, he says hatred of, hating somebody that is doing evil things only affects the person who is hating. Right here, it does not. So if you see a child being abused or something like that, you do what you can to protect the child and aid people. But if there is no compassion in your heart for those who abuse and oppress, for those who have no compassion, do you not become like them? And Jesus has a parable that he talks about, why love, those who love you, even the sinners and tax collectors do that, to love somebody who is producing hate, because then we can add our light to their darkness. He says that we can send, he says an evil person can be arrested, but evil itself cannot be arrested. A compassionate heart is more effective against an evil than an army. An army can engage another army, but it cannot engage evil. A compassionate heart can engage evil directly, and it can bring light where it has no light. So you see here, I did mark in the back here because, to be aware of our emotions and to not just, I know that sometimes there's some emotions that we don't like to deal with, and I will push them away and try to but they'll keep resurfacing, and we have to handle those because those are the reflection of our intention behind it. Are you loving people? Because, when we put expectations on the love that we give to people, our intentions are wrong. So regardless, if you're still showing love and being a compassionate person, but underneath your motives aren't pure for why you're doing it, then that isn't really producing light. But I do agree with that we can't fight hate with more hate. And also it says here, understanding that evil is an absence of light enables us to see that the only place to begin the process of eliminating evil is within ourselves. And I loved this chapter because it wasn't like the chapter before. I was a lot more into it because I could relate a lot more. I like sharing these with you guys. I like to get you guys' perspectives as well. But let's go out there and spread light into people's darkness. Let's just be that beacon of light and hope in that dark place where people might be. I understand now from reading this that when I decide to choose to hate a person who is choosing evil behaviors, I'm only increasing the hate. I'm only increasing the darkness. So rather than that, we try to find compassion and learn that, it really starts within ourselves, how we judge people, how we, look at situations, how we handle problems that arise in our lives. I would like us to handle them as healthy and as productive as possible, but with also, because I truly believe that the intention behind what we do, and what's great is the next 2 chapters on this is on intention. Intention has so much to do with our walk of life, because regardless, you can hide it from your family or your friends, but you can't hide it from God or the universe. So this chapter was interesting to me. It was relatable to a piece of scripture that Jesus spoke on, of why love those who only love us. Even the sinners and tax collectors do that. We really show that we're children of the light, God, the universe, when we choose compassion, love, peace, and understanding over the anger, hate, rage, and not understanding. So with that all being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I will post some quotes throughout the weekend, like always. And I'll be back on here on Monday. I hope you guys are all ready for Christmas. I'm excited. I just like the Christmas season. I've spent so many of them incarcerated and not being able to be around family and stuff like that. So it really, for me, it destroyed a lot of my relationships with the family, that I could have been building all those years that I, kept choosing to do wrong and add to that darkness. So I love you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. May the light fill your spirit. May peace fill you guys' mind, and love fill your hearts always. Stay woke out there. And it always takes me a second to